Radio Lomax, l'émission du 106.
Salut les jeunes. Et il est avec nous ce soir, Quinn DeVeauX. Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley ou Ray Charles sont ses mentors. Il est l'auteur d'une flopée de singles et de 2 albums indispensables, This Could Be Yours, Book of Souls, sorti en 2018 et 2020, comme autant de puzzles construits dans l'identité des racines de la musique afro-américaine. Et donc il sera sur la scène du club tout à l'heure. Et on est ravis de l'accueillir. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Radio Lomax, l'émission du 106.
Can we right away talk about your last single? No fuss, right into it.
Yeah,
right into the meat.
Let's go deep.
Yeah, let's talk about You Got Soul.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Yeah.
which announced your new album, Leisure,
Yes.
right?
Leisure, yes, that's
Okay.
right.
It's due on next July, if I'm right?
Yes, that's right. July 5th.
July 5th, okay.
Yeah.
And the country color is right off the beginning of the song with the main riff, and the first harmonies,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So tell me the story of that song.
Yeah, that song was, I was thinking about somebody that I, really, kind of cared about. And I like to, even if relationships end badly, I think that it's still good to celebrate the good times. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, just because something ends doesn't mean that it was a failure. You know what I'm saying? That whole idea, And so, yeah, I mean, that song just poured out of me when I thought about, this person and the good feelings we had and everything. And it's kind of still the same. I think about them when I sing it and I play it that way.
Okay, every step is a success, right?
Yeah,
Is that
right.
it?
Yeah, but it's like this whole thing. It's like, relationships fail, but like, it's like relationships. Like the only relationship that doesn't fail is the one that you die in,
Yeah,
exactly.
sure.
So it's
works,
like,
yes.
it's like, oh, they made it. They made it till one of them or both of them died. It's like,
Hooray.
Yeah, right. So they're all gonna fail, most of them. So yeah, it's a good thing. You met somebody that you really connected with and that you spent a piece of your life with, and it's good. You cherish that. Yeah.
On this next album, is it going to be a departure from Book of Souls, or
Yeah.
quite?
Yeah, yeah. This is definitely more country soul. This is definitely more rock and roll. It's more, I would even say folk more.
Okay.
Folk soul. But yeah, it's definitely different. I'm talking about my childhood a lot, and the next single is called USA, where I talk about what it was like for me growing up in the States and everything. And so yeah, it's certainly, it's more about myself than the last record. That it's more kind of comes from a place of trying to tell stories about my life,
Okay.
and the life of my friends,
Could we define your trademark, blue beat soul as really a music genre or a state of mind?
Oh wow. I mean, I think I think it's a music genre that that I just kind of made up.
Yeah.
But hopefully it puts people in a state of mind. It's kind of. I think like everyone nowadays, I listen to everything, everything I like, from classical to country to soul to rock and roll and all these kinds of things. And so I just kind of needed my own name for it, because everybody's always asking you like, oh, what kind of music do you play? But then it's kind of tricky, because when I say, oh, I play blue beat, then they're like, well, what's that?
Yeah. Okay.
So then I end up actually having to say it's a little bit of soul, it's a little bit of country, it's a little bit of rock and roll, so it's kind of defeats the purpose. But one day I'm just going to be like, it's blue beat, and they'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay. That's why I was talking about a trademark, really.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Your music, in my opinion, is as much a story of genre crossing as it is of a travel, a journey. Is that right?
Yeah. you know, the things, the sort of moments in music that I find most interesting are when you know, genres are crossing, you know, and people are mixing one thing with the other. I mean, that's really all I'm trying to do. I've never wanted to be a pure one thing, not purely blues, not purely soul. I've never wanted to be one thing. I wanted to like try a bunch of different things. And like, it's weird, you know, sometimes I'll write a song that is just a blues song or is just a soul song or is just, you know, in my mind anyways. And that's great, you know, but like what I really live for are the songs where it's like, oh, I don't quite know what this is. This is like somewhere in the middle, you know, like the crossroads, you know, like the Robert Johnson thing, you know. It's like, yeah, that's where I find the most joy, you know. So yeah, you know, you try and get there. It's kind of not up to you, you know. It's kind of not up to me, you know. It's like, you know, I listen to music, I write. And then, you know, wherever music comes from, you know, wherever you think it comes from, it comes in the form that, you know, that it does. And so I do have to be careful, though, because if I listen to hard rock or if I listen to like reggae, for instance, I will start writing reggae songs. And I don't want to write reggae songs, you know. I mean, that doesn't, you know, whatever, but that's just not where my most interest lies, you know. And so it's like, yeah, I got to be careful what I listen to, what I'm influenced by. But yeah, you know, I just like to have a good time and try and figure out some new ideas, you know, new for me anyways.
That reminds me of a thing that, because we do not have that in Europe, obviously. I just discovered about hick hop. You know, like
hip hop.
Hick hop, yes. Country.
Oh, hick hop.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
I was like, what is this?
Now that is a genre crossing that I'm not okay with.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah. So let's forget that.
Yeah. Let's just forget that.
Yeah. But well, I was flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a step back in your life. And how was it to grow up in Indiana, and how did you end up, sorry, that's not the correct term, but in California, of all places?
Yeah. Indiana was a great, you know, it was a place to grow up. I mean, you know, as fine as any place, you know. We grew up in Miller Beach and Gary over there, and I remember as a kid, you know, we used to go and, you know, play on the dunes over there. It was a really beautiful place. And then we lived in Gary and Portage up there. It was cool. But then eventually, you know, I really just couldn't, you know, I couldn't stay there, you know. Even Chicago didn't feel far enough away to me, you know. So yeah, I ended up going to the West Coast, and I went to Seattle, I went to Olympia, you know, and then eventually I ended up in California. And it was kind of just there was kind of nowhere else to go. It's like, right, you're either going to go to New York or California. Okay. You know, like, there's no, you know, there's not really.
No middle points.
Yeah, no. There wasn't anything else that I really considered at that time, you know. And so I ended up on the West Coast, and I mean, you know, it changed my life. I remember when I first, so I drove, I think I drove from, I drove from Indiana to Evergreen, to Olympia, Washington, where I went to school at first, rather the last school that I went to, and just as I got to sort of the western part of Washington, and just all these evergreens, you know, sprouted into the lakes, and it's just beautiful, like nothing like that in Indiana, you know, nothing at all that I had seen. And I felt like I was returning to the womb. You know, it felt like I was going back into the belly, because it was just so dense and you know, green and luscious, you know, and it was just so beautiful. There's so many times where I pulled over just to kind of, you know, take in the scene and breathe in the air, which felt very different to me, you know. That was also actually the road trip where I kind of discovered Bo Diddley. I had been into Muddy Waters and some of the chess stuff, but had never really dug into the later stuff, you know, like Bo Diddley and you know, and I was in the Chuck at that point, but anyways, I just remember pulling over and listening to these songs and playing guitar and playing harmonica. It was a very leisurely road trip, you know. I took my time, and yeah, it was a good time. But then once I got to the West Coast, I really just never left. I tried LA, and that I didn't care for that, and then I ended up in the Bay Area. Yeah.
Okay.
In Oakland. Yeah.
I can see. Yeah. I guess LA, the superficiality of it, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, LA has grown on me since then. Like, I understand more how you do that town, you know. I mean, I don't spend that much time there, but when I go, you know, I have friends there, I have neighborhoods that I like, you know, but like I think I was you can't really tackle that town in the way you would a normal town. I don't know, like making friends and all these kinds of things. It's just a little trickier there just because of the sprawl, you know?
Yeah, okay.
And so, you got to be like more sort of purposeful about what you are trying to do. Cause otherwise you know, if you're just like kind of out on the streets trying to, you know, meet people or whatever, it's just a little bit haphazard and you know, it's like in Olympia you can do that. In Olympia you just show up and everyone's there. You're just like
it works. Yes.
Yes. Just your friends are there. In LA, not so much.
Okay, change of subject. Can you introduce the band you play along with, on this tour?
Yeah, sure. So we got Mark Anderson on drums. Lucky to have him. He's also a producer I'm working with for some future projects.
Okay.
We got Paul DeHaven on the lead guitar, who I also met in Denver with Mark. Actually, I met Paul in Denver, but I actually met him before Mark. We have David Guy on bass, who I know from Nashville. I lived in Nashville for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And then we have Jameson Sevitz on the keys, on the piano, and Jameson's also a wonderful singer, and he also plays trumpet. He's not playing trumpet on this tour, but he's a multi-instrumentalist kind of dude, you know. And so I'm lucky to have all these guys, and you know, the thing about it too, it's a good hang, you know. You know, you can't going like most of the time when you're traveling, when you're on the road, it's like you're just hanging out. You're just in the van or in the restaurants or whatever. So, you know, you want guys that you can play with and all that, but maybe even like more so, you want guys that are chill.
Yeah.
You know,
social people.
Yeah. That you can be quiet with, that you can have good conversations with, that, you know what I'm saying, that you can just
stay separate from.
Yeah, exactly.
From time to time, yes.
Yeah. You know, it's you know, no drama. Yeah. You know, you just don't. There's enough drama on the road already. You know.
Of course.
So yeah, I'm lucky to have this crew. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a last question, and it's about the brilliant video for Very Bad Thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, right on. Yeah.
Happened in this retro but contemporary museum.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the narrative, the story behind your interactions with the art pieces?
Yeah. I'm gonna look up because I'm gonna forget everyone's name. There was so many people that worked on that video, and I just don't want to forget anyone.
I read it as a museum of the notion of relationship.
Yes. That's absolutely right. So there's a group called Clean White Lines that I contacted, and in the Bay Area, and it was the director's idea. I sort of came in with an idea because I was kind of used to working with directors who didn't really have any ideas, who were just like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you know? Say like kind of like, but she came in, boom, like storyboards ready. She had the idea for the video. She had it just all laid out. It was awesome. It was like, and so I just kind of showed up. I was just an actor on set. You know, it was so refreshing to not have to, you know, just to wear one hat instead of like a bunch of different, you know, roles, you know. And so, but yeah, there was, man, I really wish I had everyone's name. But anyways, because so there was the director, there was a couple of grips that we had with us, and there was also a set director. And so each time we would do the different sets, like, the bed with the glass or the boxes,
Yes.
We would, shoot one of the scenes, and then the set designer would be setting up the next scene, as we're kind of moving along. So it was really nicely streamlined. And one of the funny things is that we shot that video in a studio, in a photography studio. And the woman whose studio it was, what she normally does in there is just take pictures, like glamour shots of people's pets. So on the walls, we had to take down a lot of pictures. It was just all these glamour shots of like puppies, just, and cats, looking off into the distance, and contemplating their existence, and and so it was pretty funny. But I mean, this woman probably cleans up. I mean, people will pay a lot of money to immortalize their pets, so. So I think I might stop playing music and look into something else.
You have a hint here.
Yeah.
But now there is Instagram does that for
it's
free.
It's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's a lot of pet accounts. But yeah, it was a fabulous experience. And the woman in the video, who my co-actor, who took the ticket. So there's the woman who plays my love interest.
Yes.
And then there's the woman who took my ticket. And the woman who took my ticket is a professional actor. And they got her to come in, and I was so happy that she was there, because there's something about being around like her vibe and the professionalism that she brought to the scene. It rubs off on you. Like I found myself more in the moment with her than I otherwise would have been. I'm not an actor, like, by any means, but I found myself more sort of feeling the moment because of her vibe and the way that she was, doing it, with the way that she was working. So that was cool. That was great to learn that and to see that and everything. But it was a fabulous experience. We had such a good time, and it was fun to like break down all those boxes. I got to knock them all down and everything. That was fun. Something better than like something somebody set up and then you just get to like trash it down. It's kind of a kid thing. It's kind of fun to do. So anyways, yeah, it was a good time. Yeah.
Okay. So I hope that with the next record you're going to smash the charts as you smashed the boxes.
Yes. I think we will. Yes.
Thank you, Quinn. Thank you so much for all your words and your time and your kindness.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right on. Thank you.